What up, everyone? Welcome back to the cast, all you degenerates out there. Oh, Jarrod's slipping a kiss in before the start of the show, I think.
I tried.
There's the misses right there. Chelsea, what's up? You gonna talk some sport? Talk some sports? Someone might sound intelligent for once.
Absolutely not.
I got shy guy Vaughn hiding right behind me, so
Vaughn's just watching over the shoulder.
yeah, I don't know. He's normally pretty talkative. I don't know what's going on now, but anyway, what's up, everyone? I'm Nick of N2 Media. That is Jarrod of the Coach J Rock on your Xbox Live feed.
If you were playing CFB 25 and you were to see that, that is what's happening.
I hear you got a lot of hours into that.
I did. Yeah, we did the math at the end of the last show. I was almost ashamed. I didn't want to say it out loud. And it's only grown more.
Yeah. The shame or the hours?
Hours.
Both.
Hold on. I have to do math. Okay, we're good. Man, not a good week for me on my picks. I'm tallying. That's what the distraction is here. I'm tallying. College was not good for me last week. That was rough.
College was not good for you?
No, not at all. I'm scared to look at the NFL.
Well, buddy, I'm very pleased, but also very disappointed with how the NFL went.
Okay. Well, lead us in. What caused the heartbreak?
Well, if you checked your phone, you would have known that I had a 5-0 Sunday, and I had 5 out of the 6 legs of the caterpillar ready to go, all moving in the right direction. And then you know what? The 6th leg took a couple of steps, and it looked like it was well on its way. A 10-0 lead with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin going out, and then the wheels came off. And then all of a sudden, the Bucks sold on your boy.
They did.
And the Ravens dominated. Yeah. So I went 5-1 in the NFL last week. I just missed out on 25 for 1,200. Was pretty disappointed with myself. I thought honestly though that I think your NFL picks had to have done okay.
4-2.
Yeah,
I felt better. I feel better now.
I was like, they couldn't have done that bad.
No, college was just disheartening to look at, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, so I'm used to looking at disheartening things in the Longview Kelso area. It's normal. Yeah, very fair. So last week, Jarrod, I guess I'll say for college, didn't go well for me in that UCLA Rutgers game. For both of us, Rutgers completely sold, and UCLA played the game of their life. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but we both talked about that game, and that felt like that was. I mean, if we go back and were to pull audio clips, there was probably verbiage along the lines of "This is the safest bet of the week. This is to put the life savings on Rutgers to beat UCLA." I mean, anything that sounds horrible that could be said about a program was said by us, and they heard it. They must have played us inside the locker room and say, "You see this? This is what these guys think of you, and we need to prove them wrong this weekend." And
haven't I told you the story of Enumclaw in Eastlake?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, literally.
Refresh the viewers.
So literally last year, those two schools each clipped my picks that I made in high school football, mind you, and it became locker room material. They made mashup videos, and they showed highlights of them dominating, the next game. And yeah, it's like they were just wanting me to make those picks at that point because obviously it got put up on the bulletin board. And when you've become bulletin board material, I believe it was you that said, buddy, if you're bulletin board material, you've made it.
Yeah,
you're here. So yeah, I'm honored, I'm flattered in a way. That was the way it was, but still, at the end of the day, you're right. So I think that it translates to the college level now.
Yeah. Okay. So let me take you to the one that really shook. I mean, Rutgers. Okay, cool. Like that was surprising. Don't get me wrong, but the one that like I looked at the scoreboard afterwards and I just kind of what? Georgia just absolutely strangling Texas in Texas's home. That wasn't even clean ball from Georgia. Carson Beck. Okay. So you know the meme where it's like the shell shocked veteran, and he's like, "That's Carson Beck before every play." He doesn't look like what he's knowing. A coworker of mine said anybody who wears a leg sleeve while playing quarterback can't be trusted. And I was like, that's fair. Like he wears one leg sleeve. I don't. Yeah. And then he throws 3 picks. 2 of them were just terrible interceptions. And then the most egregious thing that came out of that, if you're the home crowd and you don't like the way a call is, just throw whatever you can onto the field.
It's a good strategy. It's bold.
I mean, everybody thought Lanning was reinventing the wheel with throwing the 12th man out there, but like, no, Texas said, hold my beer.
I mean, honestly, I got to be honest. I mean, I was going to say, I've got to be honest again. And like, I really got to make sure I don't lie right here. But,
okay.
I've never seen a call to where, you know, how everyone's collectively sitting around their TV. And even if you're not a Georgia fan or an Alabama or a Texas fan, you're looking at that play and you're like, okay, that is not pass interference, right? You're like,
I think that wasn't pass interference.
Exactly. Everybody collectively was doing that, right? And it was like a WWE. It was like a WWE moment, bro. Like where it's like the crowd bought the officials' time to get on the headset back to New York or Wabasha or wherever the hell the replay center is, because then they're like, okay, we gotta give the ball back. I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen a penalty just like, oh wait, never mind. There actually wasn't a penalty. Like really, like why? What's the explanation other than the fact that we know it wasn't a penalty? How could you come to the conclusion of changing it?
Yeah, you got to sit there while they're cleaning the bottles off the field, and you looked up at the giant flat screen TV above your head, and you're like, shit, who called that?
Yeah.
Did you call that? Come here. Really? Okay, no, that wasn't. But the facts of it is that that was like an instant review. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at what point in time, how do we, as like college football, involve these checks and balances? I'm so thankful that they're actually talking about doing a national referee association instead of a Big 10, a Big 12. You know what I mean? They're going to do a national one. And then on top of it, coaches should be able to challenge any yellow flag, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, you still have to have undisputable video evidence. Like, you're not going to be throwing a red flag on holding calls, but we have enough cameras. They make enough money off this. So there's no reason why this cannot be reviewed while you either clean up bottles off the field or you make sure that the play is right. You know what I mean?
We got comments on no PI. They got it right. And then if it were my choice, though, this is from Justin Domashevitz. What's up, Justin? Justin apparently hates my work, so I don't even know why he's watching. So no, I do. Yeah, no, it's definitely not pass interference. And says apparently home teams are subject to potential forfeit by rule if they throw stuff on the field. I kind of wish they'd have done that. Well, that's probably the Dan Lanning effect. They probably implemented that rule the next day. So
it's true. Some people wait for the world to change around them, and some force change. Lanning is the later.
Well, anyway, other than that, right? I mean,
yeah.
The other game that we both picked on, but we were divided on, a house divided, was Rocky Top, Tennessee, home against Bama. And Bama, I told you, bro, you can't trust Bama right now. Like the Kalen DeBoer effect is barely win against bottom feeders. I mean, you can't get away with that in the SEC. The Southeastern Conference, Jarrod. Put some respect on Tennessee's name. They get to smoke some cigars.
They did. There was a lot of cigars to be smoked that night. That was another one. I looked at my phone and I was like, wait, is this score correct? That hardly enough points.
Yeah. Yeah, but overall, I went 3-3 in college. I got to tell you, man, I did not see that Florida result coming over Kentucky this last week. A 28-point home win. I mean, whoo!
Yeah.
Where's that Florida Gators team been all year?
Supposedly it's been there. It's just a bunch of young guys, so you're going to have flashes like that, where then you're going to have games where against inferior competition, which that's what it is. They were able to shine, and they were like, holy shit. Oh.
Yeah. 3-3, though, is not bad.
I went 2-4, which isn't terrible. Brings the overall record, though, to below 500, and I'm not happy with that at all.
No.
18-19 on the year with college football. So hopefully this week we can right our wrongs, make up for our sins.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling pretty good overall. Last week, between the 12 games that I picked, I ended up going 8-4. So pretty happy with that. Those are numbers that'll make you money all the time.
Right. You probably made money that go round. Well, do you want to dive into our college picks before we transition?
I just want to say one thing real quick about last week for NFL, right? A couple things. Number one, if you remember correctly, I told you last week on this very show, that San Francisco being favored at home against the Chiefs was the easiest money on the planet. Take the Chiefs. They stopped the run. That's exactly what they did. Brock Purdy had to throw. He did that terribly as well. Trent McDuffie, he's the absolute right there.
He didn't invent that. That was invented.
He didn't invent that, but he's OG, right? By the way, Jabir Muhammad did not invent that as an Oregon Duck. So let's just put some respect on the purple and gold here. So Trent McDuffie's like the best corner right now in the NFL. Him, Patrick Surtain II. I mean, those two guys are right there. But man, that was the easiest money on the planet last week, taking the Chiefs on the road. I cannot believe you're getting plus money on the Chiefs. So, and then also Brucey came through huge. I heard Brucey had a great week with the Battle of the Osprey.
He was dead on again. I mean, I don't think Brucey's missed a pick all year. Yeah. Anytime it's been a geographical, topographical pick of the week, it's time to hammer that, is what the data is telling us.
Yeah.
I went 4-2 in the NFL, so not terrible, but, plus money. Overall for the weekend, 500.
Bro, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but these were some tough games to be 5-0 out on Sunday. Detroit money line straight up on the road against Minnesota. Green Bay at home money line against Houston, and then obviously KC money line. We just talked about that. Bills minus 9.5. It looked hairy. Not gonna lie, it looked pretty hairy early there. Cincinnati money line. Thank you, Deshaun Watson. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered even if you played. But then of course the ultimate sold on your boy Tampa Bay money line straight up. Didn't even take points in that game against the Ravens, and I would have needed about 30, so it wouldn't have worked out. But pretty happy overall with that. So
yeah, you have to be. It works out.
Yeah, and I'm also really happy the Seahawks ended up getting a win against Atlanta. That was a very complete team win. And I got to say, man, having Byron Murphy back in the lineup, I mean, it shows that he's a real difference maker. He may not be filling up the stat sheet in terms of sacks and tackles, but he's plugging up the middle. He's moving linemen off their spot. He's doing a great job.
No, he does. He plays a big man role the way a big man should.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then Dearness Jones coming to town. Credit the Seahawks for going out and making a room. This means that we're pretty much guaranteed to beat the Rams on Sunday because he'll have the best game of his career that day. He'll probably have 17 interceptions, 42 sacks, 7 fumble recoveries, and 19 touchdowns.
I mean, it would
as a
great,
linebacker,
but we shall see.
No, that won't happen. All right, so let's move on. 15 minutes in. And let's go ahead and transition. Jarrod, do you want to talk a little bit about some college football?
Yeah, let's talk about first. I mean, we'll talk about this subject, and then it'll parlay into my picks. And you know how much I love parlays. So far,
Don't
right? We are week 9 of the college football season. Some teams undefeated, some teams really defeated. Lot of shock, I think, across all of college football. People are starting to rumble, starting to talk like, hey, doesn't this year kind of remind you of 2007, which is just college football chaos? And there was no real answer. You just had a bunch of 3-loss teams at the end of the year, and there's still time for that to happen. But we have a unique situation. A group of 5 member is guaranteed to be in the college football playoff. And at first, people kind of just laughed at that. Like, how is G5 going to make any sort of noise in the playoffs? Like, how, where, show me the team. And this year, there's been some surprising teams. First off, we have Army, Navy, undefeated. Anybody predict that at the beginning of the year? No. Okay. Then on top of it, little cherry on top, you've got a little team called UNLV. Maybe you heard of them. Had a little quarterback drama, had a little running back drama beginning of the year. Did it matter? No, that train just kept rolling, and look where they are now. Right? Great team playing another great team in Boise State. And that's going to be a phenomenal game. Boise State looks phenomenal, right? If you had to pick, who do you think week 9 is going to be the group of 5 representative in the playoffs?
I would go with Boise State right now. And I mean, if you look at how, say, the team at the top of the rankings is doing, and the closest that they came to being defeated, you would find that the only loss is to Boise State against Oregon. And, you know, a lot of people think that know football, by the way. So I agree with them, obviously, since I know football. A lot of people think that the Boise State Broncos made a mistake in that game by not running the football enough late, and they kind of became their own worst enemy, and they let the clock kind of dictate how they wanted to go about their business late in that ball game. And they might have came away with a win. Who knows? It might have came down to who had the ball last. But
maybe
ultimately, Boise State came out on top. Personally, I'm able to put my bias aside because I'm a professional. I think Oregon was still figuring things out.
100%.
In terms of who they are, how they were going to win football games, what the best way was for them to win football games. I think they're playing a lot better right now. I think if those two teams played right now, I'd probably see Oregon winning that by about 14, 17 points, you know, somewhere in that range. But maybe. that'd be my best guess. You know, I could see a scenario to where Army or Navy ends up having a chance to get up there, but they're going to play one another. So one of them's going to knock each other down a little bit. They both play Notre Dame, so that's too easy.
Hold on, because you brought it up. I want to. Army and Navy don't play each other until after the college football playoffs have been decided. Like these are the teams that are going to college football playoffs, and then you have Army and Navy play after that, and then a week later they play in the college football. I mean,
they both got easy wins coming against Notre Dame, so
they do.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to give you a team that I would put my money on right now, I'd put my money on Boise State, which is what we're talking about, right? Putting our money on somebody.
Right.
Correct. If Notre Dame doesn't count, right, as a group of 5. So yeah. So I mean, I'd go with Boise State. If I had to give you a dark horse.
Okay.
This implies, by the way, Jarrod, that Boise State's going to lose another game, because if they don't, they are going to be the team.
Sure.
If they lose another game, I'm going to take a team that Boise State has already beaten, who was left in the dark, left for dead by everybody who jumped ship from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten and the Big 12, and that's the Washington State Cougars.
Okay.
The Cougars have nobody on their schedule. Like if they don't go 11-1 with their biggest win of the year being against Washington, it's a travesty.
They play Oregon State second week from the end.
That's nobody. They're worse than Washington. You know damn well. You said you wanted a dark horse too, right? In the text?
I did.
Okay,
yeah.
There's my dark horse. Washington State Cougars. That's my dark horse. How do you deny an 11-win team that was just thrown to the side of the road with no blanket, no water, no shelter? It was just left there.
I mean, you're not wrong. I hear what you're saying. I like it. I mean, it's not terrible.
There's no way Army and Navy are going undefeated. And a one-loss Washington State, whose only loss would be to Boise State, mind you. I mean, I don't care if they beat San Jose State 10 times and Washington once. It don't matter to me.
Well, Washington State and Oregon State play each other twice next year, home and away in the same season. Okay. Well, my favorite is Boise State, right? That's my favorite. And then my dark horse, as much as you can let them be dark horses, but it's the Black Knights.
Gotta beat Notre Dame.
I mean, yeah. I mean, even then at that point, though, they're going to be a one-loss team to Notre Dame. They play Air Force, North Texas, Notre Dame, UTSA, and then Navy.
Yeah,
they could go
Jarrod,
undefeated. Okay, hold on.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Okay.
What's worse, losing early or losing late?
Losing late.
Okay, there you go. The riddle's solved. It doesn't matter if they have one loss. If they lose late, look at the rankings. Look at what's dictated.
Ask me a follow-up question. Do I think that the Black Knights are going to lose to Notre Dame?
Do you think that the Black Knights are going to lose to Notre Dame?
Okay. I think they're going to beat Notre Dame.
If they do, by all means, they deserve to be in. If they're undefeated, sure.
They could lose.
I think that a win over Notre Dame, that'd be the best win out of all the teams if they get it.
Good, yeah.
Put them in. I don't care. Whatever. They ain't going to win a game, but put them in.
Oh, I love it. All right, let's move on. Let's get to it. Let's start with my picks. So, carrying on the group of five love that we have on this show. I'm taking Boise State money line against UNLV. Why? Because I just think that that's the way that game's going to go down. Okay. Yet again, Gianti, in the spirit of Michael Myers, is going to stand completely upright and just haunt you in your nightmares. UNLV also has a loss this year, but it was to not Oregon by 3 points at Oregon's house. So Boise State has been super impressive, like just offensively. You can't stop Gianti. So I love him. That travels, right? It's not a passing offense that those sometimes can go away. I don't know if I'm just a glutton. I might be. I just might like being abused. But I'm going to take Rutgers at USC. And it's probably more because I just have zero faith in what USC is doing. I mean, they've led in every game this year and somehow have found a way to lose. That is prying a loss out of victory's mouth, and it just blows my mind. Illinois is traveling to Autzen, top 25 matchup. Okay, that's pretty important. Talking about strength of schedule, Illinois' top 25. Pointed out now while they are. And 21.5 points just feels like a lot. This game kind of feels like a 30 to low 20s, high teens type game for me. So I think 21.5 is too much. Give me Illinois. Oregon State, the Boovs travel to Cal. Interesting late game out of conference, late season out of conference game. Give me Cal. I don't think Oregon State can travel. And then I have no faith in Michigan. Give me Michigan State traveling to Michigan. The Big House used to be something so scary, but I don't know, man. I think Michigan State can steal one here in a rivalry game. And then Texas travels to Vanderbilt. And I know some people think, oh, Jared's going to pick Vandy here. I'm not that crazy. Okay. I've already made the crazy pick, picking Rutgers to beat USC in the Coliseum. So Texas over Vanderbilt. That 6-pack, $25. You win $1,300.
Oh, man. Sorry. I'm not yawning at your picks. I'm yawning because I'm somewhat tired.
Happens.
I like it. Boise State money line. I don't like Rutgers at USC, but this is a classic like USC blunder right here. I'm telling you right now.
It is.
I looked at the Illinois-Oregon game, but I got a rule that I implemented this year, by the way. I no longer bet on Oregon games, regardless if they're favored or not favored. I just don't want to do it. I've got too much hatred for them.
Okay.
Because I've got too much hatred for them, I can't, in clear conscience, judge them. I like the Cal money line pick, safer than 10 points. Michigan State, Yeah, I mean, they haven't really shown me a whole lot that makes me believe that they're capable of winning this game at Michigan. However, the odds makers are only, given plus 155 on this. So that means that they really think that there's a real shot here. They're kind of being a little conservative, with the line. Texas money line. I mean, when you say you're not crazy, what's crazy about picking Vanderbilt here? Like, I don't see there's anything crazy about this. I mean, I know Texas is coming off of a beatdown at home, but we thought that Alabama was on top of the world. After they beat Georgia, and then guess what? They were 22-point favorites, 22.5-point favorites, and Vanderbilt beat them straight up. So yeah, I mean, good luck. Texas money line, that's a safer pick than laying the 18. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I'm okay with what you got. On the other hand, I'll tell you where I'm at. So ironically, at the very top of my sheet here is Boise State.
Okay,
I'm gonna go Boise State here, but when I go Boise State, I'm gonna go ahead and just lay the 3.5. I'm not too worried about that. Field goals won't help late, so I'm not worried about a 7-point lead turning into something detrimental. I think they're going to end up winning fairly comfortably in this one. Navy taking on Notre Dame, the team in the group of 5 that we really didn't talk a lot about. They're at the first crack here at Notre Dame, and you know what? I'm going to go with the midshipmen covering 13.5. This is at Navy. This is at Navy. And we want to talk about classic blunders here, Jared. This has got classic Notre Dame blunder written all over it.
Yep. Marcus Freeman going and getting depantsed.
I have been riding Southern Methodist now this will be the 3rd straight week. And they've cashed every ticket. Why stop now? Why stop a good thing? Give me the ponies. I'm going to lay 12 on the road against the Zbookies. Penn State at Wisconsin. Penn State's a real good football team, Jared, and this is a game that they cannot afford to overlook. They have the driver's seat, passenger seat filled up right there. And now with Ohio State losing last week, I think that they still blood in the water. I think they cover 6.5 on the road against Wisconsin. This game here, Jarrod, I really wasn't sure if I wanted to bet on it or not, but I'm a big believer in the bubble popping jinx here. When you get to this point in the year, good teams have a tendency to slip up. I think BYU is a good football team. I think it's a hard game to go and travel all the way to Central Florida to play this one. And Central Florida is a 2-point favorite at home here. Not very often you're going to see an undefeated team, an underdog at this point on the road. So I'm going to take Central Florida and lay 2 at home against the Cougars. Vanderbilt plus 18.
Pin that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll pin that one. Go ahead. Continue. We'll come back to that one.
Okay, well, Vanderbilt plus 18. They're covering against Texas. They're going to cover.
Fine. No, I agree with, most of those I didn't have. I just kind of sat there and listened. BYU, what has UCF done this year to make them favorites in this game? They're 3-4. Literally.
What do you want me to do?
I'm not saying what you to do. I'm saying how are they? How? BYU's undefeated. They've lost to Iowa State by 3.
You brought up 2007 earlier, didn't you?
2007.
Pretty sure that was year Oregon was undefeated with Dennis Dixon, and then they went and played Cal, and Cal ended up beating them. I'm sure the Oregon was a 12.5-point favorite in that game. I'm sure Cal was 3-4.
I don't know.
I went there.
BYU,
I'm sorry I went there, but I went there.
BYU's they just keep finding a way. And how UCF is favored in this game blows my mind.
Tough game, tough environment to go play in. A long trip, from Utah to Florida.
If you don't have fucking Colorado come in and dump 48 on your head and then go lose to Florida and then lose to Cincinnati and then lose to Iowa State.
Hey, those are all really good football teams.
Iowa State is.
There's gonna be some refereeing in this game.
Okay, you're predicting
some official. There's gonna be some officialing. Some officialing.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't think that spread tells me that they don't want BYU in the CFP.
Yeah, it's true. They don't. They don't want to deal with all of that Salt Lake City money coming in.
It's dirty money.
It is. All right. That was it, though. That was the only one that I had a problem with of yours. BYU, you're doubting them. Don't doubt them.
Well, I'm not doubting him. I'm just saying I think it's a tough game.
All right. Let's move to the NFL because we still have to.
Hold on.
Oh, do you still want more?
No. $25 wins you $1,238 on that.
Okay.
Continue.
We still got to squeeze in. There's a big UFC fight this weekend.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah. Little birdie whispers. All right. Well, let's start at the top. The Atlanta Falcons travel to Tampa Bay. I'm taking the Tampa Bay money line. Colts also travel to the Texans. I'm taking the Texans money line. I know they looked abysmal last week, but they got to right it at some point. This weekend should be it. The Bills travel to Seattle. I like the Hawks in this spot. Give me the Hawks. Chicago travels to Commanders. I'm taking the Commanders. Philadelphia travels to Cincinnati. I'm taking the Bengals, the Bongos. And then the Kansas City referees played the Las Vegas Raiders, and I will take the Kansas City Tailors over the Raiders.
Yeah, that Bengals and Eagles game just has don't bet on this game written all over it. I think that's a real tough game to figure out, honestly.
I don't know why. I kind of floated back and forth and then kind of just settled in, and I was like, Cincinnati, I feel like they will. I just think they're the team that's going to win here. I don't have.
Okay.
At some point in time, right, they have to start making a playoff push. if they're going to achieve the goals that they set out before themselves this year.
Playing a tough division, man.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to. That's the division that you're in. I think the blonde's worn out too, so Joe Burrow's back to just being normal.
How much does that win you for a $25 wager?
My bad. That is a $25 bet for $8.60.
Okay. I'm actually in the same neighborhood with you here in terms of return on money. So I'm going number one, San Francisco at home versus Dallas.
Okay.
Easy money. This is again stealing here. San Francisco -4 at home. Give it to me all day.
Okay.
Dallas is awful. Dallas cannot run the football to save they can't run the football to save their life. So San Francisco hasn't let me down yet. I've laid points every time that I've bet for them, and they didn't let me down last week when I bet against them. So obviously they're on the ticket. Man, right. I love your pick. I love your pick with the Commanders. I'm on the Commanders +2.5 right now. I'll take the points, but I can't remember the last time that the Bears were favored against a team that was 2 games or 3 games over 500 and with a rookie quarterback. I don't give a flying frank that Jaden Daniels doesn't play the game. If he doesn't play, I have all the faith in the world in the offensive design to build that same game plan around Marcus Mariota. I got no reservations here. I think that the Commanders' defense might be one of the better units in the entire NFL. So I think the Bears are going to have just a real tough time scoring this one here.
They really could.
Back to my old friends, the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to go money line, Jarrod. I'm going to go money line on the Chiefs. I like them winning the game. 8 points, though, in a division game that looks super easy on paper scares the living shit out of me. So I'm just going to go KC here. I really wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders knocked them off because that's just what happens in the AFC West with these rivalries there.
I feel like there's always one game where Kansas City goes and plays at Raiders and it's like just not good, but I don't know. That's what the
Raiders are. That's what the Raiders are. They're not good, but anything can happen.
Yeah.
I was scared to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm going with my gut here. Steelers laying 6 at home against the Giants. Daniel Jones cried a river on the sideline after getting yanked last week in a home loss to Philadelphia. By the way, that was a game we should have had last week. Philadelphia, Saquon Barkley revenge game against the Giants. You had to know that they were winning that game for them. So Steelers with Russ, good defense, -6 at home. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum here. I think the Bucs are just decimated right now after the loss. It's a short week. Yeah, they are still at home here, but these two teams played not too long ago, and I like Atlanta in this one. I think that Atlanta's got a good chance to win this game. They're favored on the road, so I'm going to go Falcons -2.5. After watching Derrick Henry run the football all over the Buccaneers, I think Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier will have a big game. And then finally, man, this game here, Jarrod, we got to talk a little bit about maybe, but I have not had an ounce of faith, in Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins. Ever since, and I don't even care if Tua went out that game. During that game, before he went out, they looked like total Dolphin shit. And nobody was tackling Cook, the running back for Buffalo. They looked uninspired. They looked like they were poorly coached.
Yeah.
The only game they've won since the Tua injury was against the Patriots, and they barely won that game. Last week against the Colts, do you know how many targets Tyreek Hill had? Targets, not catches, targets.
3.
2. Fucking 2 targets.
How?
I'm telling you right now, I can give a shit less who the quarterback is for the Miami Dolphins. Put Tua back there. Give him a Guardian helmet. Give him dark helmet. I don't care. he is not going to be a big difference maker right away. They're favored by 4 at home. They're favored by 4 at home after the dog shit that they put together over the last 5 weeks. No, give me Kyler Murray and the Call of Duty Cardinals. I don't know what the geographical, topographical correlation is here between a Cardinal and a Dolphin, but I'm willing to bet you that the Cardinals are going to swoop down and they're going to land right on the Dolphins' head and take a big Cardinals shit all over it. Give me the freaking Arizona Cardinals +4. I'll take 4 points.
Yeah, no. Sorry, mate. Yeah, wrong. See, this is the geographical, topographical game of the week. This is at the Dolphins, right? Like, this is in the Keys, Miami. It's right by the beach, okay? Dolphins going to flip around. On top of that, do you know what comes out tomorrow?
Yeah, the new Call of Duty.
What else can be said, man? Kyler Murray plays like dog shit as soon as the new Call of Duty comes out.
He's not going to this time. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
He can play the game. He can play the game on the sidelines this week against the Dolphins.
Okay, we'll revisit this, but remember, Brucey spoke.
Okay.
He said that his other one involved the Jets, but didn't like it being at New England and decided he wanted to stay away from that.
$25 wins you $7.75 on this one.
Okay, yeah,
you're kidding me, Brucey, that you really think that the Dolphins are gonna cover 4 points against the Cardinals. I don't care about what the Kyler Murray thing is. I have zero faith in Mike McDaniel as a head coach.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I'm telling you, this weekend, destination fact for the Cardinal. There's not even Cardinals down in Florida.
Well, there's Dolphins.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, all right. That's where we're at.
Okay. So let's try and recreate what you did last main card, huh? Run them 5 off here. Take the lead. Yeah. You're the aficionado here.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if I'm the aficionado on it. You know, I'm going to say I got lucky a little bit, just because I thought Juliana Pena lost that fight against Raquel Pennington. It wasn't like a blatantly obvious loss, but I thought she lost, and then I thought Bautista got the benefit of a decision. So I don't like the time of this card, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to be right in the middle of like prime college football.
Man,
5-0 again.
Yeah, I'm going through it real quick here. Okay, that's it. That's easy. Oh, I don't want those ones. That was the max pick.
9 o'clock kickoff for Washington again this week in Bloomington.
Oh yeah. Well, we can't touch that game.
I'm looking at it right now.
I'll start here, right? Right. I'm getting it all figured out here. I'll start here, and I'll just say that I think that Ilia Tapura is about to do something that hasn't happened before. So you already know what that means. I think Tapura wins by knockout in this fight against Max, and I'm not saying that I think Max is old, because he's not. You know, I don't think he's washed, because he's not. I just got this feeling that Tapura is going to go out there because he hasn't really felt what it's like to go out there and really get, like stung. And I know that that's a dangerous combination when Max is a guy who can do that at will pretty much against guys. Yeah. But Tapura's got really good speed and he doesn't absorb much damage. I think he's going to fight smart here in this one. He's going to kind of wait for his openings. I just look at the big factor here, Jarrod, of I factor in common opponent. And Max fought Volkanovski 3 times, lost to him 3 times, and Topuria starched Volkanovski. So I got to go Ilya in this one. In the other fights, I'm going to go with Magomed Ankalaev against Alexander Rakic at minus 400 for Magomed Ankalaev. I think he'll just wrestle his way to a win and do enough on the cards. That's pretty much what he does. I'm going to go with Lerone Murphy over Dan Ige, although I think Ige's got, that fan stardom behind him, and he does. He's just a bomber, though. If he catches you, it's over. But other than that, in terms of fighting strategy, I compare him to guys like Michael Chandler. I compare him to guys like who's another swinger miss? Just
Josh
Mike Perry. Mike Perry,
Josh Emmett.
Yeah. Someone who's going to go out there. I think Emmett's a little bit more well-rounded, but yeah, those are some of the guys that I'm thinking of, that I would compare it to. The other fight, the co-main here, Khamzat Chimaev against Robert Whittaker, and I really don't want to pick Khamzat. I really don't, but I think this is just a bad matchup for Bobby Knuckles here, and I think that if he's able to stay on the outside, and he says he's got good wrestling defense, and we'll see about that. I'm going to go Khamzat. I just feel it's going to be the safest of the pick. And then anytime there's a Magomedov in the fight or on the card, I'm going to go with Magomedov. It's Sharabutnin against Armen Petrosian. So it's not too terrible. It's a minus 175, but you throw those five fights together and you're putting $25 down on it, you're going to win 126. The odds that are on that Magomed Ankalaev fight and then the Murphy fight against Ige, even the Khamzat fight, you're over 265 in all 3 of those. In fact, one of them's minus 400 for Ankalaev. So, I mean, obviously I'm going favorites here, but it makes me nervous because I think that the best underdogs here that have got a shot is honestly, I think Max probably has the best shot as an underdog.
Yeah, so I'll go from start to finish of the card. I took the Red Pirate as well, Magomedov to start. I then though went Ige. I like Ige in this fight. I like the momentum that he's had. He showed up on 3 days' notice. I think if he's ever gonna make it a career for himself, I feel like it not that he hasn't, but make the name to push into title, has to start now. Bunch of eyes are on him. Magomed Ankalaev, like you said, I think he'll just wrestle to a decision against Rakic. And Rakic likes to strike. I just don't think he's going to have the space to do so. And as for non-heart related picks, that's it. We're done. From this point forward, we're purely picking with our heart. I do have Bobby Knuckles beating the Wolf. I don't like it, but I have to. I have to do it. I just don't know why Chimaev has been so inactive, and I really hate how inactive he is. And so I have actual ring rust type concern for him because we haven't seen him fight in what feels like 4 years now. Since COVID, when he fought and then fought a week later, it feels like we haven't seen him fight. He had a war with Gilbert Burns, but I mean, it just doesn't feel like we've seen him fight. Whittaker's been fighting. Hasn't won all of them, but he's been fighting. And then it's just the most blessed man, I can't. I will never bet against Max Holloway, just flat out. I won't.
No, I get it.
I didn't do it against Volk. I arguably thought that he won one, maybe two of those fights with Volk. I like Ilya. I think Ilya is really explosive and he throws absolute sledgehammers at people. But Max, yet again, he's in his prime. He's 31, 32 years old. So, this is the prime. He's not going to get much better from here. Kind of the last fight for the Warrior. If he gets knocked out by Ilya, then yeah, Ilya's world and everybody else is living in it. Because, like you said, it's never been done. But that's the card. If you throw 25 at that bad Larry, that 5-way legger, it's at plus 590 odds. So you get $1,500 if that hits.
I think a prop bet for Ilya by knockout is needed. So
could be.
Stranger things have happened. I mean, I'll be rooting for Max. I love Max too. But
well,
at the end of the day, and I hope that Whitaker wins. I really do. And Whitaker's still fringe, title contender.
Yeah,
fringe. If he wins this fight, I think he's got a legit gripe. I think he might be able to work himself into getting another fight. I think that if he wins, I'll say this. I'll change that up. I think the winner of this fight is probably in line to take on Adesanya if he wants to keep going.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Adesanya gets thrown right back into the title contention spot. I think he's faded a little bit beyond that. If he doesn't have the dignity and the courage
I was thinking this fight's the title eliminator itself. Whoever wins this fight gets the next shot.
Yeah. Probably. We'll see. I think Bobby Knuckles has got, the biggest gripe there. Hamzat, to me, is too inactive to deserve a title shot.
But the UFC will stuff him right past everyone. I mean, it's
Yeah, I'll tell you right now where they can stuff it. Strickland is right there. I mean, obviously, he'll fight Dracus, but if Strickland wins that fight, they're going to run it back right away with Dracus.
I'm telling you right now, buddy, whoever wins this fight.
Okay, well, let's see. We'll have to revisit this. We're going to revisit a lot.
We will. Tomorrow, they're going to announce. Tomorrow, they'll announce a fight between. You know what I mean?
Weigh-ins have got to be happening here in a couple hours.
Yeah, I think we'll wake up and weigh-ins will be done.
Any backups there for the fight?
I don't know who's there for the backup.
Let's see here. Maybe Volkanovski? I doubt it. Maybe Volk. I don't even know who else would really be.
It's Conor McGregor.
No. Baby, we finally done it. Break out the red panties.
No, I don't see it. We'll find out tomorrow after weigh-ins.
Alrighty.
Was there anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, I think we're good, man. I think that I think the Huskies are gonna give Indiana a run for their money, man.
There it is. I think so.
I think Indiana's minus their QB here in this one.
Are they? Are they out their QB?
They might be. I heard he was having some issues after his last week. So
let's check.
If that's the case, I mean, I'm not saying it's an upset, but yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Indiana just put that. They put the absolute hurting on Nebraska.
They did. 6.5 point favorites. Look at the respect they're showing Washington.
There's going to be some officialing here.
We'll see.
Bro, tomorrow I'm going to be up in Kalama for the first time, doing Kalama versus La Center.
Ooh, getting to go to the town and the stadium built by Twilight.
Bro, it's going to be great.
That'll be awesome.
La Center's ranked number 3 in 1A, and Kalama's ranked number 8. So,
ooh, shake up in the top 10 coming.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be fun. I'm excited.
No, that will be. I'll check it out.
All right. Well, we're just under an hour mark. Not bad.
No, that's perfect.
Nice. All right, buddy. Well, yeah, and we're clear. Yeah. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. And we're gonna rewatch it obviously here and figure out how we did next week. And maybe put some clips together. I'd like to do something like that if I have a chance to. And Jarrod wants to put some clips together also. So I think it's deservingly so. We did pretty good last week. Hopefully we do well again this week. I'm a little sad, Jarrod, that the card is in Abu Dhabi for UFC because I won't be able to watch it during the daytime because I work for a living. So it's kind of weighted. But I got this beautiful thing called lunch breaks, and I'll sit around and I'll watch some of it on a legal streaming platform. And see how it goes.
I'm going to wait for the New York Times to show up on my front porch the day after, and I'll read it in the newspaper like a good, honest American will.
100%. Yep. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. As always, best of luck to you and your picks this weekend.
Same.
And let's come back and do it again next week.
Sounds great. Thank you, everybody, for dropping in, watching. Appreciate everyone.
All right, you degenerates. Nick the Coach Jarrod of the Coach Jarrod on Twitch. We are Zbookies. Follow us on our page on Facebook at zbookies.com. May your bets be live and your checks be stacked high.